can you kindly please touch on the importance of technology, the fourth industrial revolution, and just a slight bit of what is fourth industrial revolution? Because people are coming in and they're saying library 4.0, and others won't really understand, you know. So yes, please, can you?
All right. Yeah, quite interesting. Technology. Well, I'm passionate about technology. In the past, reading and writing used to be a very, very, very important thing. And then now, you know, digital literacy is more important, you know, because almost everything is online. And you do like literally everything online. I remember even the city itself, you know, Johannesburg wants to be a smart city. I remember we worked on a project of, you know, with, there was this other one was called Maru Ajozi, where, you know, the Rea Vaya buses were supposed to be connected on their platform. You would actually even go to the Rea Vaya station to connect to the internet. And literally, actually, when they started the project, the initial idea was that people would do almost everything on the platform. You can actually book you were supposed to book actually for your clinic appointments, you know, to do all your municipal services there. But that project actually died. And it died even when we had to find people to go, because we also partnered with the university, where we even went to the communities and trained people. But we didn't really, maybe another thing is because we didn't really train a lot of people. But now the biggest issue here is that infrastructure is a problem. You know, you can talk about technology, but if infrastructure is not proper, it's not there. And then it means whatever they're talking about won't work. Typical example, because when we talk about QIR in Johannesburg, you know, most people understand what you're talking about. And now most of us are not necessarily originally from Joburg. And we are from back home, you know, with Mr. Nkuna. We are from back home, Ashawen. So during COVID, we had to go back home and start, and then we were told to work home. This institution was the first one to move immediately online. It took us only 2 weeks to go back online, and we catched up, and we didn't have problems at all. We ended the year exactly when we're supposed to end. The following year, we just continued with that. But when I got home, here's the problem, where the problem started. Got home, I was supposed to work, and the next thing, you know, you're supposed to be on Zoom for a meeting, and the next thing, internet starts buffering. Yeah, you're back home. And now I understand technology, but I'm back home, but poor infrastructure. And then I engaged this other friend of mine who works in the technological space. He's from, he works in another telecommunications company, MTN to be specific. And we're like, you know what, we would like to work from home, you know, because anyway, with COVID, when you're Johannesburg, you know, to be in Johannesburg when you're dealing with COVID, it's a high risk. You know, it's better when you're at home. And then, we came to this conclusion because we wanted to understand why, you know, why is it difficult for us to do the work there? And then why are they not investing in the infrastructure? Because the telecommunication companies are supposed to invest in infrastructure. You know, in Joburg, you have already, you know, 5G towers. Some of them are there. You know, back home, if you even struggle to get 3G, you know, which is a problem. And now you want the entire country to move to 4IR, and which is a problem. And it means it won't work. But now it got to this point where we wanted to understand why is there no infrastructure? The infrastructure is not there because people who are supposed to use the technology are not necessarily in the rural areas. They're in Joburg. And back home, you have all elderly people, and which is a problem because most people are leaving the provinces because they don't have faith in the provinces. We all flock to Johannesburg, which tomorrow is going to have another problem itself. And then which also automatically leads us to what we're supposed to come up with smart cities to resolve, to solve that particular problem. So yes, we have to work on technology, but how can we work on that? We have this other project called Each One Teach One 3 Apps. Each one teach one 3 apps. So now it means I have to teach someone three applications, and he has to teach you 3 applications, and you teach him 3 applications. This is the technique that I use as well in class when I test how technologically advanced they are. And I was like, yeah, I'm teaching you business, I'm teaching you entrepreneurship, and you have to understand technology because you are doing business in the technological era. Technology is important. Yes. You cannot ignore technology. And you know, most people who are big right now, it's those invested in technology in their businesses. And what I do is I tell them to do this. It's like you write 3 applications and then you send it to your classmate. That one sent, and then at the end of the day, we have one big list with all the applications, how they and how they function. And from there, then we learn from them, which is good. So we have to teach each other, and we must also go back where we're coming from and invest in infrastructure. Yeah. There's no any other way, because I always hear, we're always talking about the government, and which is quite interesting because when the ANC, when we're still fighting for freedom with the other political parties, ANC said, you know, yeah, we are the government. You know? So it means, you know, with your Mr. Nkona, you know, your Mr. Samuels, and you know, when you're home, with the little that you have, contribute. Yes. You know, contribute, buy those technologies and give them to these young people. Yes. You know, we need to go back to our primary schools and say, this is what we're doing. Yeah. So what we're doing with our students, we have a project, it's an enterprise, by the way, for our students. I'm working with IT students also. It's one project, it's IT, so it's a multidisciplinary project. So we have students from IT, from entrepreneurship and all that, then coming together. So the idea is to teach young people how to code from the ages of 6 to 14. And the idea about it is we want them to know how to code. From coding, we want them to create African indigenous games. Because we always talk about decolonization. We believe we can also decolonize, you know, for that's our understanding. Yeah. And from there, when they know how to code, when they're a bit older, because it's from 6 to 14, from 15, we want to give them real life problems in the African problems. Come up with a technological solution. And you know, with this project, we're going to other countries as well. Next week, we'll be presenting it to Namibia as well. You know, so that we can work with the Namibian university, so that we can roll out this project, you know, because the concept is we want to lead in the, you know, the other revolution, the 5th one. Yes. You know, we believe it will come from Africa, yes. As long as we, you know, it will definitely come to Africa. It will be from Africa if we all play our part and contribute. Yeah. So with whatever that you know, teach someone. You know, when you go back to your school where you study, go back and teach these young people. Contribute with whatever that you have. You don't have to give them a lot of things. Whatever, even your time. You know, sharing with them the jobs of the future. People need to know these things, because to this day we're still telling people about not just do typical human resource. There's no way, you know, it won't work. Instead, people just do a typical marketing. You know, that won't work. So it means you have to tell them about digital marketing, smart HR, and all these other, you know, qualifications that will be big. Actually, they've already started. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You can get some value today. There's just no way. Like literally, you know. And thank you so much. Unfortunately, it's not that, because it's Q&A session right now. We'll have questions. Those who have questions, they can pose to the panel if you want to know more certain things. The floor is yours. Any questions in the room? Okay.
Yeah, so mine is a comment, right? They're still packaging the questions, you know? Yes. So questions will come just now. Look, on a very serious note, this book, I wish most young people can read it. Not that I'm trying to say. But anyway, it's not a bad idea though, to sell the book as well. But look, most young people would be really inspired.
Yes, a lot.
But what is in this book? From a cancer side, we are going to buy these 10 books and give it to our guys. I'll see how I deduct the money from their salary. They must all read this book.
Yes.
I think that's it.
Look, MC, there's something that I want to share with you and the people here. Yes. You see, when this guy was about, you said I'm coming from a family side, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I will tell you a little bit of, when he was around 5, 6, there was this cold drink. We used to call it king size, 350 ml Coca-Cola or whatever. You see, that was a bottle, not this cans. This guy, he didn't want any other thing besides the king size to drink. And every day, twice or so a day without a fee, right? And he will cry non-stop. Then now, at home, there was always a business. So we used to sell cold drinks as well, 1 liters, that period. And you pour cold drink, give him a cup, I will just throw it away. They want the king size. They want what he wants. So what they will do, and at home we're not selling the king size, but the next shop was selling those king size. So then, of course, we had to devise some means. Okay, no, it's fine. We can't be buying king size everything, supporting that business, whereas we're also selling the same product. It's just a different packaging. So we just took the old one, the old bottle, the king size one, take out the one from the fridge at home, went there, close it, and then we give it to him. Then he smiles and starts drinking. What that one? So every time he cries, I want water, then my sister will just say, hey, Bote, Ngozili. Then I know, okay, it's fine, it has started. I must go by the corner, hide myself, and point there. But why am I sharing that? They always insisted. You see that trouble thing that you're talking about, the one that I hate to say, to mention with my mom? You could see from there what he wants. He wants that. No matter what, he wanted exactly like that. So you could see that this guy, he has something already at that very same age. So look, in this book, the reason why I'm saying I wish all young people here can buy, even the older one, of course, will learn a lot. It's a proof that we all have something. I must say, during that time, I didn't know what might be the meaning of all this, of these characteristics in him. But now I know. And I'm encouraging each and everyone, especially the young ones, that there is something in you. You just have to unearth that. Read this book. It will encourage you as to how can we unearth that gift. There is no one here who does not have a potential. You have the potential. That's the reason why in my company, I say I allow my guys to have, actually some of them I force them to register a company. It takes us an hour, we're done. We have the company. Because those guys will be my business partners tomorrow. I can go and I'll go and work for them. I'm creating a safety net for myself. Come on. So do that. Another great man who is now late, Dr. Miles Monroe. He says, may his soul rest in peace. He says the graveyard is actually the richest spot on earth, the cemetery. He says next time or anytime you move around the graveyard, you must respect that thing. If you're wearing a hat, take it off and respect the graveyard. Because in there are authors, best authors that the world have never seen. They died without writing that book. They died without realizing their potential. There are soccer stars we're talking about, Dr. Kumar. Apparently, it's nothing. The one who died without playing soccer are actually the cemetery.
Yeah.
We are complaining about leadership. The great leaders are there. Even Mandela, maybe it's nothing compared to the ones who died without really, realizing that potential. So I'm encouraging us, the young ones, let's stand up and do something and really unearth that which is in us, which we actually don't know, which is what my son is doing here. And I'm very proud because I know this man is going to make the graveyard the poorest spot.
Wow, what an uncle. Still, no questions as yet. Thank you, sir. Noted.
Mine is not a question, it's just to acknowledge that gentleman you say. I'm coming from the perspective of working with him. And when I looked at that guy, I said, but why is this guy here? He's got he's a hard worker, but he's not needed here because this guy is an entrepreneur. You can tell that he's actually not needed. So
Lost.
But then, let me tell you something that you don't know.
Yeah.
It can be very confusing. If you see his smile, you will think, hey, yes. But I just want to say, Ritu, thank you for writing the book where you are now at the stage of your life so that in the next 5 years, you add another 3 chapters into your life. And in the next 5 years, you add another 3 chapters in your life. So that this book becomes part and parcel of what students can learn from the person you are. Because the first time Ritu called me and said, I've got a book, and I was like, but what is this guy gonna tell me? And I read a book and I started realizing, actually there's so much in this book because I relate so much to the book in terms of how I grew up. And just to say that the Mr. Samuels was my CEO. I know him very well, and I'm not surprised why they get along because he saw something in Ritu. And I must tell you, as a CEO, I'm not here to talk about him, but he was a CEO. He once asked me a question, guys, why when I'm around you, you're not afraid of me? Because that's what he was. And I think you, Ritu, as a young man who's growing up, those people who are sitting there, force them, make them teach you something each and every day because you've chosen a group of people that can make you a great guy. And I think the university must continue using you. And in fact, you should study so that, because I realize that you are a simple person who really love being in the rural space, but you can also go into all these spaces as a person. And when you fought for workers that were sort of dismissed at the South African Qualifications Authority, I realized that you actually did not need to do what you did, but your love for people makes you what you are, and that's how great leaders are made. And I think people who don't know you will know you better as you grow and become a much, much better person. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can I stand here so that? My name is Silence Batak. I'm close friend since 2009. We met at the very same university, but at different campus. It was Soweto campus. So I just want to echo the same sentiments shared by the uncle Mr. Ngula there. That this gentleman is one of the few people who are very dedicated in the country. I'm still glad I had an opportunity to meet him. I remember one day, the way he's dedicated, I remember one day he almost fired a lecture. We were doing first year, and that's when I realized that no, I'm dealing with a different person. we submitted the assignment dates, and then we got shouted at it, and he came with many stories. And I was like, no. Well, actually, I was in support of what the lecturer was saying, not what he was saying, because she was just trying to show us some way as a young people. And then he's there trying to just give justifications. And then I'm like, but why this guy? Instead of just apologizing for the submission, then we move, it's easy fighting. But then, yeah, it's some sort of personality that I think people need in this life if you want to be successful. Thanks for the intelligence, my brother. The book is connected to our South African society. You can't detach it from how many people are living. I think it touches many lives. Touches. I know that as a Black people, most of our backgrounds are not nice, except that now things are starting to get better. But then, yeah, that's what I want to share. But then the only question that I have is that I was watching this movie, Long Walk to Freedom, by Morgan Freeman. And then somewhere when I was busy, you know, those movies, they write it and say based on a true story. So I just want to ask, when are you going to, or have you thought about maybe one day releasing a movie based on, yeah. And then if you do, please consider me as one of them. For me as well.
Yeah, like you can see, these are the people who are talking for him. No questions, no nothing. Like that's when you see, like people are just, you know, talking for you, and like everything that they're saying, you're not talking, Jay. Like it's them talking about you, and we really appreciate your leadership. And unfortunately, we won't take any more questions because we need to take cognizance of time, so that next time when the Clearly Blurry movement keeps on continuing, we invite you to the event so that you can come, so that we don't waste your time, because we really respect that. And he will take the stage again because there's an element of surprise as usual. You know, like you come here, see wearing suits, you know, like it's tiring, and hey, this place is too busy, but there's an element of surprise, and also he will take care of that. What's yours?
Thank you, MC. I almost cried, you know, listening to what was said about me.